I live in a quaint town nestled in the heart of the mountains, where everyone knows each other. Life here is usually quiet and peaceful, but one winter night changed everything. It was around midnight when I heard a faint tapping sound. At first, I thought it was just the wind knocking a branch against my window, but the noise persisted. I got out of bed and walked over to the window, pulling back the curtain. Outside, the world was shrouded in a thick layer of snow, the moon casting an eerie glow over the landscape. But there was nothing there, no branches, no animals, just the empty, snow-covered street. I shrugged it off and went back to bed, but the tapping continued. It grew louder, more insistent. It sounded like someone was tapping on glass, but it couldn't be. My mind raced with possibilities. Was it an animal, a prankster, or something more sinister? The tapping became a rhythmic knocking, each thud sending chills down my spine. I decided to investigate. I grabbed a flashlight and made my way downstairs. The house was eerily silent. The only sound, the creaking of the floorboards beneath my feet. I checked all the windows, but they were all securely shut with no sign of any intruders. As I approached the front door, the knocking stopped abruptly. I paused, holding my breath, and opened the door, peering out into the dark night. There was nothing, just the silent, snow-covered landscape. I was about to close the door when I noticed something peculiar. Footprints in the snow leading up to my front porch, but these were no ordinary footprints. They were small, almost childlike, yet there was something off about them. They seemed to be spaced too far apart, as if whoever made them had an unnatural gait. My heart pounded as I followed the footprints. They led around the side of the house and into the backyard. I shone my flashlight over the snow, revealing a trail that ended abruptly at the edge of the woods. The footprints simply vanished, as if the person had been plucked from the ground. I felt a cold, creeping sensation at the back of my neck. I turned around, expecting to see someone standing there, but there was only darkness. I hurried back inside, locking the door behind me. I tried to convince myself it was just a prank, but deep down I knew something was wrong. That night I barely slept, haunted by the memory of those strange footprints. The next morning, I went outside to investigate further, but the snow had covered any trace of them. I asked my neighbors if they had seen or heard anything unusual, but no one had. It was as if the whole incident had been a figment of my imagination. Weeks passed, and the memory of that night began to fade, but the unease never left me. Every time I looked out the window, I half expected to see those footprints again, and then one night I did. It was around the same time, just after midnight, when I heard the tapping again. My heart raced as I looked out the window. There, in the snow, were the same childlike footprints leading up to my front porch. I grabbed my flashlight and went to the door, my hands trembling as I opened it. The footprints were fresh, leading around the side of the house and into the backyard, just like before. I followed them, my breath visible in the cold night air. This time I was determined to find out where they led. I followed the trail to the edge of the woods, where they abruptly ended. But this time there was something else, a small, shadowy figure standing just inside the tree line, its eyes glowing eerily in the darkness. It was watching me. I froze, my heart pounding in my chest. The figure didn't move, didn't make a sound. It just stood there staring. I wanted to run, but my feet wouldn't move. I was rooted to the spot, paralyzed by fear. And then, just as suddenly as it had appeared, the figure vanished into the darkness, leaving me standing there, alone and trembling. I never saw it again, but the memory of those glowing eyes still haunts me. I can't explain what I saw that night, but I know it wasn't human. To this day, I avoid going out after dark, and every time I hear it tapping at my window, my heart skips a beat. I've told a few people about my experience, but most don't believe me. They say it was just my imagination, but I know what I saw, and I know that some things and things not of this world is out there watching.